Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And guys, I have so much to talk about in this video. I am so excited for things that are happening right now around the SEC lawsuit, but also what it will basically lead to within this entire market. This basically solidifies our positioning in this market, why we are accumulating, why we are taking some positions, averaging into positions. And this is exactly why I've been telling you guys to focus on the bigger picture here. So within XRP and the SEC lawsuit, obviously this is the largest litigation case, in my opinion, in history of the SEC. And when we talk about all of crypto, I definitely do believe that XRP, at the end of the day, everybody is hating on XRP. So many Bitcoin and Ethereum maxis continuously talk down on XRP, but I think that a lot of individuals forget the fact that once XRP gets regulatory clarity, it is game over. For anybody who thinks that they are early in crypto, you are. But anybody getting in after regulatory clarity, they are no longer early, because it's going to open the floodgates for capital from regulatory standpoints within the institutional grade client area. And I think that we are perfectly positioned right now before that happens. Now, we're going to be addressing Bitcoin in this video slightly. I don't want to talk too much about it. I know, trust me, I don't like to talk about Bitcoin all that much, but of course it is king of the castle currently, as we are still in a speculative Bitcoin market. On the 24-hour span and on the 7-day span, we are seeing some nice movement within the altcoin market, but nothing too much to really kind of say, all right, yeah, we're bullish on altcoins right now. We're still sitting at a pretty high figure on Bitcoin in terms of dominance, and Bitcoin is still having some volatile swings within this market. I honestly think that we have a perfect opportunity to kind of trade this as well in terms of this movement. As you guys do see, the volatile wicks to like 31k, with wicks down to like roughly like 30k itself. These are perfect for trade opportunities, specifically within the altcoin market as well. So definitely take a look at that if you are an experienced trader. But with this in mind, let's move on. Let's talk about something pretty significant around crypto. So this is probably one of the most bullish things in this market. ETFs. A US ETF would be historical for Bitcoin's price action. We see Grayscale taking these steps to get their ETF, passed. Of course, we are seeing here as we enter the final month before responses due on our application to convert Grayscale Bitcoin to an ETF. We have retained Donald B. Verrilli Jr., former Solicitor General of the United States, as an additional legal counsel, and they're talking about why here. Honestly, I think that as we really kind of look at this, we do see over here, over the course of his career, he has argued more than 50 cases before the United States Supreme Court, including several that dealt directly with Administrative Procedure Act violations. I do believe that this is an individual that could get this passed. Now, why are we even talking about a Bitcoin ETF in this video? Isn't this about the SEC? Yes, 100%. The SEC has been really kind of dragging their feet on this ETF, and I think that they have been really kind of waiting for the perfect time to really kind of pass this. But of course, I think that we are going to see this Bitcoin ETF get passed eventually, and it could happen this summer. And if we talk about that, it could lead us to the wave 5 to really kind of be ushered in around like the November timeframe, similar to like 2017, 2018, with our topping points being around like, quarter 1 to even quarter 2 of 2023. And that's going to be very, very massive when we talk about that wave 5 being like 100k plus on Bitcoin. Now, why are we talking about this? Well, we look at Canada's first Bitcoin ETF Purpose, now hodls over $1 billion of coin. In a record month of growth, the US market is 27 times larger. Now, this goes back to April of 2021. Since then, this has grown massively. And I actually have a tweet from October of 2021 saying a rough estimate, a US spot Bitcoin ETF, Canada's Purpose ETF, currently holds 21.7k Bitcoin. I just made a video on this the other day. They're actually holding over 40,000 Bitcoin already. So they are continuously accumulating and buying, especially on the dips. And we do see down here, using the size of equity markets as a relative estimate, Canada has 3.1 trillion. The US has 47 trillion. This is majorly bullish. When you look at the accumulation numbers that the US would basically have, the US spot ETF would have to buy approximately 330,000 1,000 Bitcoin, roughly $9.9 billion, the price of Bitcoin would skyrocket. And yes, we would, as we do see the accumulation of Bitcoin from the Purpose Bitcoin ETF holdings, and also correlation to price. You guys did see during the summer they accumulated greatly around this range, and you could see the price here surging from those bottom lows. Now, obviously, yes, during the initial phase of this, it wasn't, pumping the price significantly, but we did see some nice price movement off of the lows of Bitcoin to like roughly 60K plus, topping out around like the April timeframe. But still, I do believe that when we look at the amount that would have to buy around the US spot ETF, and also even in regards to the demand around this, it would push the market significantly higher. Right around the time where the SEC is on a major defensive mode, they're panicking, in my opinion. A lot of people are saying probably not, but in my opinion, I don't believe that the SEC has any cards to play here. And the case is getting significant because we look at what the SEC is trying to do here, and they are on the defense greatly. They actually just, filed a motion to seal its opposition to the amicus brief of Patrick Doody. They are citing as a basis witness, safety. I sure hope no XRP holder has contacted or threatened him in any way. This is basically what Johnny Deaton is saying, and a lot of people are actually speculating, saying, I'm worried that an XRP holder, there are plenty of them who disguises themselves as an XRP investor, tries to mess up the case with possible actions like the one mentioned in your tweet, and it could definitely happen. But I do believe that, the SEC filed this motion to seal for a reason, and we are basically seeing them seal a lot of things around this, and actually, filing, oppositions to things that do matter within this case, because I do believe that they are on a major defensive mode. I think that they are panicking, and it does make sense because we are seeing some major media articles being pushed around this case as well. We actually seen from Fox Business, they're talking about, crypto's trial of the century. Ripple could, the case could basically be decided over just a few words of the former SEC official, and this is regarding the Hinman speech. I definitely think that everyone should definitely look into this, but of course they are talking about like following 60 months of intense trial litigation, countless hours in court, and over 600,000 documents reviewed by both sides. The case that's being billed as the cryptocurrency trial of the century could all come down to one speech made by the former SEC official 4 years ago. I also think that we should be eyeing the emails. I think that those emails have some very detrimental, information in them to the SEC's, overall case. I think that it will actually, basically end the SEC case, and I think that it will give us regulatory clarity because I believe that there is a ton of, picking winners and losers within those emails. Now, of course, we do see down here, the documents Ripple wants to obtain, the SEC is looking to keep confidential, center on a speech given in the June 2018 by the SEC's former Director of Corporation Finance, Bill Hinman. And yes, I do believe that the SEC is picking winners and losers in the trillion-dollar crypto business, and I also believe that when we talk about what the SEC is basically doing, I think that they're in panic mode, and they are trying to, keep all of this stuff hidden, because of course they do also see, the major, the problem within that, because I do think that this case itself could take away any sort of recognition that the SEC actually has, and basically kill their reputation. Now, as we do really kind of look at this, we also looked at the hearing thread. Now, shout out to Crypto Law US for this. I'm actually going to leave this at the top of my description because I can't do a full deep dive in on this because there's just so much to actually talk about. But there's one specific part that I want to talk about, and that is this. So in this entire argument here, they were basically talking about, how the speech wasn't, the SEC's official statements, and it was basically just a, opinion by Hinman. But we do see this here. NetBurn has just hit her first serious blow, accusing the SEC of changing its position just to suit their whims, and sarcastically asked them to pull up the speech and show which part is the SEC and which part is his personal views. We do see down here, the SEC, the fact that the speech at the end of the day included his personal views doesn't change that he sought legal advice and couldn't have given this speech as a private citizen and couldn't have accessed this info without being director of CorpFin. NetBurn asked the SEC if it is now taking the position that the speech reflects the views of CorpFin. She has to ask twice. The SEC says yes. Wow, I don't understand the caveat. If the speech was given from, CorpFin, then anyone could have given it, but Hinman gave it, and it is his, views. Every time I asked you if it is CorpFin's views, you say it was his SEC. argues that doesn't matter, only that, he sought legal advice that he could only get as director of CorpFin, making him the client in the situation, even if the speech reflects his personal views and it is not relevant to any facts in the case. Knepper thanks the SEC, turns to attorney Solomon for Brad Garlinghouse and says, you want to take the lead on this one? So basically, I do believe that Judge Knepper is basically saying, like, listen, you guys are just going back and forth on this. You guys continuously tried to argue that, it's basically his opinion. Then you're going back and forth, and, you don't really have a major argument point here. And I think that this is extremely damning to the SEC's side. I think that this ultimately will lead to a settlement. I think that these emails and also this speech are probably the biggest moment in this lawsuit to date. And if you are an XRP holder, you are paying attention right now. I told you guys that today would be a big day, and it was. Read all through this. I mean, I'm telling you guys, the moment in time is now. So I will link this in the description at the top. You guys can go and check it out. But this is significant. Also, the Bearable Bull tweets out saying Senate bill comes out about ending the SEC oversight same day as the SEC gets destroyed in court against Ripple. Sober thoughts. And I think that this is a perfect timeline. I think that this all plays into accountability with the Grayscale Bitcoin ETF. I think that all right, guys, like I know that we get pretty bullish on this channel, but right now I think that there is so many catalyst events around this market that I cannot help but be bullish on crypto right now. We look at the Senate bill, and we do see our Senate bill would end SEC's oversight of most crypto, create a $200 tax exemption. I think that when we talk about ending the SEC oversight, it is exactly what we need. I think that we say, so long SEC, hello CFTC. The proposed language to end the SEC's jurisdiction over much of the crypto industry is one of the most significant provisions in the bill and comes after years of complaints about a lack of clarity as to whether a digital token like Ethereum is a security, a designation that would require the token to, be registered with the SEC. I think that when we look at this market right now, this is huge. We've always talked about how the CFTC would essentially be ushered in to end SEC's oversight within this market because they're just clearly attacking innovation and stifling it. And I think that right now we should be focused on ushering in digital assets into our system and utilizing the potential that a lot of these assets do, basically offer, specifically even XRP. Now, also, just to wrap this up, we did see a quote from Jungle Inc. actually on this subject and says, U.S. senators unveil bill to, regulate cryptocurrency. Now that the most robust crypto regulatory frameworks have been introduced, I would love to hear Ripple and Brad Garlinghouse's take as the leader in this space. Ripple's input is key. Yes, I do think that when we talk about this bill, we will see Ripple again, share their thoughts on regulatory frameworks. You got to remember that Ripple basically ushered in a regulatory framework back in, I think it was like November of 2021. And they basically talked about how it would, introduce crypto in a spotlight and, continue innovation. It wouldn't stifle it. It wouldn't overregulate. And it will actually help push crypto to a new, limelight. We look at crypto right now, and regulatory clarity would actually usher in massive amounts of wealth into this market. You got to remember that, there's a ton of financial institutions waiting on the sidelines to invest and utilize crypto properly, but they just can't because regulatory, frameworks are, not in this market yet, and it's actually holding them outside of this market. So that is a huge barrier to entry right now from these massive giants that want to, basically, I'm just going to completely say it, input, trillions of dollars into this market. It would majorly change the entire market structure. And those individuals, me, you, all of you that are in this market right now before regulatory frameworks are ushered in are extremely early. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe to notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.